Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, we are going to discuss the spotting of the abdomen. Pelvis we will do in a separate video. So let's see what structures we can see. So this is the liver, this is the gallbladder, this is the stomach, this is the spleen, this is the transverse colon. This is basically the attachment of the anterior layer of greater omentum on the greater curvature of the stomach. And this is the attachment of the posterior layer of the greater omentum on the transverse colon. This is the ascending colon and this is the descending colon, and this is the small intestine. Now in the small intestine, in the left upper portion we have got the jejunum, and in the right lower portion we have got the ileum. Why? Because from the stomach duodenum arises, curves around, comes on the left side, and then it forms the jejunum. Then jejunum forms the ileum, and then ileum forms the cecum. So that's why here jejunum is mainly present and here mainly ileum is present. This is the end of the ileum, this is the cecum. So this is the ileocecal junction. If we open this, you can see this is the ileocecal valve or the ileocecal junction. Appendix is not present in this model. Now let's remove some organs. So liver we have discussed in a separate video, the link is in the description. Stomach we have also discussed in a separate video and the link is in the description. So here we have got the pancreas, and you see that on the upper border of pancreas there is an artery running which is entering into the spleen. So this artery must be the splenic artery, and with this splenic artery there is a purplish vein which must be the splenic vein. So basically the artery runs on the upper border of the pancreas while the vein runs behind the pancreas. Now let's remove this. So this is the duodenum, and duodenum has four parts. First part of duodenum is horizontal, second part of duodenum is vertical, third part of duodenum is again horizontal, and the fourth part of duodenum is vertical. Now we know that in the second part of duodenum, common bile duct opens into which the pancreatic duct opens. So in first look we might think that this opening is the opening of the common bile duct, but in fact it's not. It's basically the opening of the accessory pancreatic duct coming from the pancreas, as this is the main pancreatic duct and this upper one is the accessory pancreatic duct, which is not present in all people, but when it is present it opens into the duodenum through an opening which is higher than the main opening of the common bile duct. So this small opening is basically the opening of the accessory pancreatic duct, and it's called the minor duodenal papilla. Now this large opening in the medial side of the duodenum in its second part is the opening of the common bile duct and the major pancreatic duct. So this was the major pancreatic duct, the lower one, and this is basically the common bile duct entering into the major pancreatic duct, and the dilated portion, when these two combine, this dilated portion is called the ampulla of Vater. Then this is called the sphincter of Oddi or the major duodenal papilla. So we have the ampulla of Vater, sphincter of Oddi, and the major duodenal papilla. Now this first artery arising from the abdominal aorta, this must be the celiac trunk, and the second one must be the superior mesenteric artery. So these are the superior mesenteric vessels. They pass anterior to the uncinate process of the pancreas and the third part of the duodenum. Now regarding the celiac trunk has three main branches. This is the splenic artery, which we have already discussed. Then there is the left gastric artery, and then there is a common hepatic which gives the gastroduodenal, the right gastric and the proper hepatic arteries. Now let's see the arteries and veins from behind. So you see that this is the celiac trunk. So this one must be the superior mesenteric, and this is the cut section of the inferior mesenteric artery. This green is the bile duct entering into the second part of duodenum. This is the splenic vein, as I have already discussed, running behind the pancreas. Now in the splenic vein, inferior mesenteric vein enters, and then the superior mesenteric vein enters, and it forms the portal vein. So this is the splenic vein, this is the inferior mesenteric vein, this is the superior mesenteric vein, and this is the portal vein. Now at the posterior abdominal wall we have got the kidneys, the suprarenal glands, the aorta, the inferior vena cava, the rectum and the urinary bladder. And this is the prostate below the urinary bladder. Then these structures which are arising from the kidneys, they must be the ureters. And then there is a similar structure which looks like ureter, but it is not ureter, and it's arising somewhere from behind the bladder but not from the bladder and entering into the inguinal region. So this structure will be the vas deferens in males and the round ligament of uterus in the females. Now regarding the arteries, I have already told you the arteries that arise from the anterior surface of aorta. So this must be the celiac trunk, the second one must be the superior mesenteric, and the third one must be the inferior mesenteric artery. Now from the lateral sides, two arteries arise, mainly the renal artery and the gonadal artery. So these vessels which are entering into the kidney, these are the left renal vessels and these are the right renal vessels, and these are the gonadal vessels, which are basically the testicular vessels in males and ovarian vessels in the females. Now there are other small arteries which also rise from the lateral sides of aorta. These are basically the lumbar arteries. Now there is a midline artery, a small one, which is running over the sacral promontory. As it is the midline and running over sacral promontory, it is called the median sacral artery. So now you see that the abdominal aorta as well as the inferior vena cava, they both bifurcate and they form the common iliac vessels after bifurcation. So these are the common iliac vessels. Then the common iliac vessels further bifurcate into external iliac and internal iliac. So this is the internal iliac artery and this is the external iliac artery. Now regarding the muscles, this is the diaphragm. This is the psoas muscle. This is the iliacus muscle on the iliac bone. So iliopsoas. This quadrangular muscle is the quadratus lumborum, and then we have got the layers of abdominal wall, the external oblique, the internal oblique, and the transversus abdominis muscle. If you open the kidney and look inside, we see that this is the renal pelvis, these are the renal calyces, these are the pyramids, and in between the pyramids we have got the renal columns. In the spleen we see this is the superior border of the spleen which has got the splenic notches, and this is the hilum of spleen containing the splenic vessels.